Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live coaching and networking session here with Hollywood Editing Mentor. My name is Joaquin Elizondo, the creator of the Hollywood Editing Mentor program and podcast. So happy to be doing this once again. As some of you know, I come on here live and answer all your questions, or at least the ones that I can, and also every once in a while, and also give you the opportunity to meet other members of this community, and so you can network, get to know each other, and start building those relationships, right? And especially so important to do so here if you want to work in post-production. It's important to network, build your network, and this is a safe space to do just that and just have fun, talk shop here for a little bit. Welcome. What's going on, everyone? Say hi. How this works is that if you're new here, well, welcome. Thanks for being here. But just post your question here in the chat box, and we'll get to it here in the broadcast. And also, feel free, anyone else, to chime in. Share your thoughts. If anyone has a question or you want to bring up a topic, this is a community. We're all here to hang out, get to know each other. So definitely want to hear from all of you. And one of the also biggest reasons, besides just obviously wanting to hang out, check in with you guys, but it's I like to say it all the time. It's some weird times that we're living in right now. It's tough with the obviously the writer's strike. Work is really slow, and besides that, just everything is changing. The world is changing. The whole thing with AI, a lot of uncertainty, so many things going on. So I wanted to also kind of check in and just provide some support for those that need it, because I know when things do get tough, it's important to reach out to people. I'm telling you because I've been there, and so I also wanted to do this now because I know a lot of us are just having a hard time dealing with this, with the current kind of climate, and of course also the freaking weather. I haven't seen the sun in I don't know how long. But anyways, welcome here. And first of all, I want to know where everyone is watching from. Type it in the chat box. Let us know where you are watching from, where you're tuning in from today. Let's see if people are showing up. I love it. I love it. Let me get my window here up and going. Remember, I'm doing this by myself. I'm doing all that light switching here by myself. So, bear with me. What's happening? Let's see. Just check in with people. David Baker says, morning, everyone. What's going on, David? Sheila made it. What's going on? Good morning. Hey, Jeremy. How you doing, dude? Hey. Shane, what's going on? Perry Pang, good morning. Momo Chick 93, good morning, everyone. Hey, what's going on, dude? Hello from Vegas. What's the weather like in Vegas right now? Delina is in Bulgaria. That's right, you're still there. How is it? I would not mind visiting. Wow, Surath, I hope I said that correctly, from Pakistan. Wow. What time is it over there? Yeah, AI, that's going to be a big topic of discussion here today, no doubt about it. Jeremy, of course, Long Island. Perry Pang, LA. Oh, man, a lot of people, all over the place. Usually it's like a big West Coast crowd. Now it's everything but. That's awesome. Atlanta. David Baker in Chicago, Illinois. Love Chicago. One of my favorite cities. Acapettit. I hope I said that correctly. In New York. Dylan. Hey, from New York. Yeah, a lot of New Yorkers. Love it. I lived there for 5 years. I was living in Astoria, Queens for a bit. Vegas, 82 and sunny. Oh, I don't know how that feels like. I don't know what that feels like anymore. It's been so overcast here for I don't know how long out here in Southern California. I'm over it. Let's see. Where else? In Pakistan, it's 11 p.m. All right. Nicole, what's going on, Nicole? In LA, Agustin from Uruguay. Oh my God. People from all over the world. This is amazing. Love it. Thanks for hanging out here today. Truly appreciate you spending some time here with the community. And a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to definitely talk about. AI, certainly being one of them. We'll get into that. So post your not only AI questions, but thoughts. I got some questions through email. And so we'll definitely get to that. But just what has been happening here, at least in Hollywood Editing Mentor. Well, let me just let you know that I got a new podcast episode coming up next week, and it's a very, very special episode. Very excited about it because I'm going to be talking to one of my most dearest friends, Humberto Gurmilan. He's an author and award-winning journalist. Here, let me show you Beto so you get to know him, but you'll hear all about his story. There's Beto and myself. This was around, I think, 2014 in Tijuana, Mexico. We were shooting a documentary about Beto's life because Beto suffered a surfing accident when he was 15 years old, left him paralyzed from the chest down. But, despite this tragedy, I mean, Beto was able to overcome adversity and accomplish his dream of becoming a sportscaster. He was the sports anchor for Telemundo for many years. And besides that, he has just accomplished so many things and serves as a huge inspiration for myself and so many people. And now he's written his second book, Waves of Courage. So we're going to hear all about that, hear his story. And, he just wants people to live with courage, right? And be able to come adversity. So we're going to discuss, see how he's done it, go through his process and, provide some, again, just some inspiration for people. And like I said, especially at a time like this, right, where we all need it. So I cannot wait for you to listen to Beto's story, hear more from him, get to know my very good friend. That's coming out. That episode 41 will be out next Tuesday. So look for that. On your favorite podcast app. And of course, here on the Hollywood Editing Mentor YouTube channel. And so make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down below. I think it's right there. Hit subscribe so you know when I upload new podcast episodes and more YouTube videos. And, look, it's really going to help out this channel. I could appreciate your support if you simply just hit subscribe, hit that like button. We'll just let more people around the world know about the Hollywood Editing Mentor program. So really appreciate that. I've been working on this also break into scripted course that is coming out this summer. I'm very, very, very excited about it. Break into scripted. You can join the waitlist today, and this is the ultimate guide for anyone wanting to work in the post-production department of films and scripted television shows. It's going to be awesome. I'm done recording it. I'm done shooting the modules. I just got to edit them now. And wow, there's nothing like this out there, truly. We're going to be talking all about networking, what to put on your resume, how to write, great just cold outreach emails. And then, I know a lot of you want this, but we're going to go through the basic assistant editor skills. And what I like to say, to not get fired the first week, because what I hear a lot from people is like, I'm not an avid expert. I don't know if I can do this. And so what I'm trying to teach you is, well, first of all, tell you that, You do not need to be an avid expert to be an assistant editor in film and scripted TV. You got to know the basics, the fundamentals, and then a lot of it, you're going to be learning on the job. But it's just to kind of get you, away from that feeling that being overwhelmed, and get over that fear of doing the actual job, the technical side of things. But we're also going to be talking about setting goals and kind of pulling back the curtain on the post-production industry, and so you know how it all works, stuff that you won't learn about anywhere else. So you can go right now to the waitlist and check it out. HollywoodEditingMentor.com/waitlist. You can do that right now. Head on over. There's a video there about, it gives you more info about the course. It tells you more about it. And then you can also get this free PDF while you're there. But, and here's some success stories from people who have taken the class. I did it last year twice in a live group setting. And the thing is, now this summer is going to be an online digital course that you can do at your own pace. So, it's sold out last year twice. People went through the program, are now working in film and scripted television. So, this stuff works. And like I said, there's really nothing out there like it. Coming out this summer, again, head on over to HollywoodEditingMentor.com/waitlist. Get on the waitlist. You'll be the first to know when enrollment opens. So, again, just very, very, very excited about that. And if you do have any questions here about it today, let me know. Post it in the chat box. So that's what I got about, with regards to announcements. And let's open it up to questions or discussions. I want to know how everyone is doing. What's on your mind? All right, get that thing out of the way. All right, let's see. Yeah, what is everyone working on, if anything? I'd be curious to hear, because no doubt about it, it is slow, or I would say close to dead. Crazy, crazy times. I feel like this is worse than the pandemic. I got to admit. At least it feels like that way, right? The feeling is it's so weird. David is working on a doc and a couple of corporate projects. All the narrative stuff has been pushed, unfortunately. Yeah, I hear, I'll just kind of talk about it, but not that no one knows what's going to happen, right? But of course we got this writer's strike, potential directors, actors striking as well, which would just bring everything down completely. But, to be honest, I hear like stuff potentially coming back. The earliest I would say, and this is also just my guess, as far as scripted work, I'm thinking like November and potentially January, February. But the thing is, this is something we talk about also as well with my friend Beto on the podcast. But I look at the bright side or the positive side, and that being that there's a lot of there's a lot of free time right now for everyone. So it's important right now to grow your network, reach out to people, try to meet with people, ask questions, learn, right? Learn a new skill. Obviously the whole AI thing, so many new tools available. So, use this to your advantage, right? Because the work will come back. So you don't want to wait till say, for that, the work to return for you to say, start networking or learning, right? Take advantage of this time at the moment just to, again, maybe learn a new skill, but also again, I talked about this in the video on the YouTube channel, hang out with friends, reach out, reconnect, practice some of your favorite hobbies, again, try to look at the positive side of things. Very slow in New York right now. Yeah, no, I mean, look at New York everywhere. It's it's nutty. Is it a good time to get into the union? Uh, I well, I what I always tell people is when with regards to the union is you want to make sure that you have a job lined up because if you're gonna get into the union, you're gonna pay say the initiation fee. Let's say as an assistant editor, I think it's around like $2,000, right? So I really suggest that people first try to get a job, like a job that lasts more than 30 days. Because at that point you can work a union job, say, less than 30 days, and you don't have to join. You don't have to actually pay the initiation fee. I mean, obviously, as long as you're on the roster, you can work, say, less than 30 days and not pay that initiation fee. Now, after that, then if you do work something that's more than 30 days, then you have to join the union. And so that's how I kind of answer that question with, like, say, when should I join the union? Now, if you're on the roster and you're inching to get in the union, you can do that. A lot of people decide to, say, just join without a job. And because, they want to take advantage of, say, maybe the union mixers, or a lot of now people say, well, I want to get access to the job board because the union now does have a job board. And it's great. I love that that's been implemented now. What I will say about that is, though, that you still have to network. You have to still be in networks because by the time that, say, a job posting arrives on that job board, it's gone through so many networks, right? So me personally, like, what do I suggest? I would not join the union till I had, say, a job like that lasted more than 30 days. And I'm going to just go ahead and say like an actual almost full season of a show, like not just like, all right, 40 days. No, like, I mean, like I would just like, I want to land that kind of long-term job and then I would join the union. That's me personally. But, people, depends. If you think that's valuable to you, with those perks, then by all means join. I'm just saying that you're going to, pay at least $2,000. Oh, that's an interesting question. When reaching out to prospective producers, what are your thoughts on email versus phone call? I'm big on email because people are, it's not so intrusive and a lot of people nowadays don't like to jump on the phone. Like, that's just how we operate now. Everyone's all about, the majority of people are all about texting and emailing. I prefer to email and then maybe through that email suggest maybe jumping on the phone. That's how I like to approach it. Because, people are either busy or they think they're busy, right? And so it's just best to kind of set it up first through an email, kind of break the ice, and then from there see if it's worth, say, suggesting a phone call. That's my approach. And even like when reaching out to people, and I'm going to say like people that I'm kind of close to, colleagues, where I could easily like say, pick up the phone and call them, I just prefer to send an email because recently, for example, I reached out to a friend who's an editor, and I wrote them an email, and they're like, you know what, I'm working my director's cut, I'm jumping in on my producer's cut, I'm really busy right now, but maybe we can jump on the phone, like, say, next month. All right, cool, right? They're busy, so I prefer an email and then suggest a phone call. But that's a very good question. Thank you. Oh, look who's here. Will, my dude. So happy you're here, man. Nicole, definitely feels worse than the pandemic. I'm debating pivoting out temporarily instead of trying to slide back to docuseries and non-union work. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's just it's a weird feeling. Yeah, I mean, look, you got to do what you got to do. That's the thing. And it really boils down to like, well, I think a lot of it has to do with, say, your financial situation, right? And figure that out. And again, a pivot. You gotta learn how to pivot, and then decide when to say come back to what you were doing. That's totally normal. Because again, like this is look, it's gonna change. Like it's not just about, because the thing is, it's not just about like things get settled and then, oh, we're back to work. It doesn't go that way. It's gonna take a while for then things to ramp up. The thing is, a reality, and I have to be just honest with people. And look, and again, no one knows what's gonna happen, right? But this is what I predict, and I think it's the writing's on the wall. Based on how this industry is changing, the business model is changing, and there's gonna be a lot more competition. There's gonna be a lot more competition, and so that's why it's so. Again, and I can't stress this enough. You thought like say networking was important before, it's more important now because it's going to be so competitive now, and there's not going to be that much work. You know, that we knew that, say, that kind of bubble was going to burst from like, say, last year. We all knew it, and it just kind of happened quickly. And so that's why, you know, it's so important. And again, I go back to this Break Into Scripted course, because you got to really, you know, fine tune your networking, your cold outreach, all that stuff is so important now, more than ever. And it's going to just keep, I mean, it's just going to, like I said, as we move forward, things are just going to be more competitive. There's going to be less work, I think. And so you have to know how to network, because it's going to be all about, who you know, more so than before, honestly. Wow. Very, very good question here. And of course, Sareth says, anyone else wants to add in, do you think the strike or strikes will benefit the entire industry once it's over in the long run? Is it worth the wait? Yeah, I mean, well, you know, if, you know, as long as, you know, say everyone gets what they want, right? I mean, what they want, right? I mean, like, I think one thing I can mention right now is, like, say, the whole AI thing. That's, you know, that's a big one, right? If you can prevent, say, AI to take over our jobs now and fight that as much as we can, then yes. But, you know, if that starts to creep in, ooh, that's going to be rough. So you gotta, you know, we at least gotta try and fight. You have to try. And that's what's happening now. And yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. You gotta you gotta put up a fight. And so because like I said, the business model is changing. The business model is changing. I mean, there's gonna be less shows. And so you got to get those strong contracts at the moment. So yes, it's totally worth it. I think is it worth the wait? I mean, yeah, I think so. If this is say something that, you know, you want to do and you believe in, and so yeah, I say hang in there as much as you can. Right now, look, if you gotta, you know, again, it goes back to the money, right? More than anything, you got to go out and make a living and do that, right? Do what you got to do, whatever it is. But I would say, like, still dedicate time to, you know, contact people, you know, stay on people's radar. Don't like just disappear. So again, it's like really about making time for all this stuff. So if you do have to now go, I don't know, whatever, go do Uber Eats. I saw some people like are like washing dishes. I've seen so many like things people are doing right now to make money. But if that's the case, then I would still like set aside time every day or every week to stay in touch with people, to, you know, learn, say, new skills, stay up to date with your current skills, stay creative, watch films and TV shows, stay in that creative kind of mindset. Don't let that go. These are all things that you can do, say, during this time while we wait for things to get sorted out, you know. Stay sharp, stay creative, and reach out to people and keep growing your network. Stay on people's radar. Certainly things you can do right now while things are slow. Agustin. Agustin says, I'm a commercial editor looking to enter the U.S. market. What do you think would be the best way to do so? Coming from abroad, I suppose relocating is a must. Thanks. I got to say that in the last couple of months, I've been getting a lot of emails or messages from people outside of the U.S. that want to move here to find work. What I've been understanding is that, like, say, even this is like the, from what I understand, what it seems like, it's slow everywhere. Again, this industry, this business is changing. But to kind of just go back to your question, look, I mean, a lot of stuff is, for example, like, I'm going to say a lot of stuff. There's definitely remote work. So if for people that want, for example, people that want to work in film and scripted TV, I always tell them you have to be in LA or New York. But I would say, LA, is probably where you find the majority of the work. Now, others say stuff like, say, maybe commercials or anything besides film and scripted TV, you might be able to find, say, kind of that remote work. There's work out there. You got to go find it. So again, it goes back to reaching out to people, doing cold outreach, networking. I'm a broken record. I will never stop talking about that. And so you can certainly do that, say, from your hometown, if you are in Uruguay, for example. And so you can do that. You can certainly do that. Now, I don't know what your kind of visa situation, I don't know what's that is like. That's another thing. I've been getting hit up a lot about just visas and stuff like that. And so I don't have any experience with that, unfortunately. I can't give you any advice or suggestions. The only thing I could say about that is, if you do, say, need a work visa, then reach out to people on different post-production communities and groups in, say, for example, Facebook, including the Hollywood Editing Mentor community. Like, create a post where you talk about your situation and where you're from, and hopefully someone that has been through the same process or have experienced the same thing, or maybe has obtained a visa, can walk you through it or connect you with someone that has gone through it. So again, whether it be through the Hollywood Editing Mentor community, the private Facebook group, or any other post-production communities on Facebook, I recommend Facebook because there's a lot of groups on there, or wherever you can find a community. Just put yourself out there and tell people what you're trying to do, what your situation is, and then try to get help that way. I mean, like the last podcast episode, podcast number 40 with Monica Salazar, we talk about that, right? She explains how she obtained her visa and how she was able to work in the U.S. That's how I suggest, again, I can't talk about that process because I've never done it. But that's how I would find people who try to find people that have gone through it and that can provide that advice and then connect you with other people that have gone through it or that can help you. But thanks for your question, Agustin. I want to hear, let's see, I have a question I got through email. I love your questions. Thank you. I love people participating. This is great. Again, guys, help me out here by subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button. It certainly help out this the program, the YouTube channel, and just let more people find this and use it to learn more about post-production and editing. Okay, Will, I like this question because this is something that I went through and I made a lot of mistakes. So here we go. Can you speak to transitioning from New York City to LA professionally? I feel like you discussed in episode 30 of the Hollywood Editing Mentor podcast, but I am eyeing that move myself while trying to keep the momentum going. The biggest thing, and this is, so I lived in New York for 5 years, then moved to LA. Here was my mistake. Don't do this. So, when I was in New York, I was working in, say, talk shows, documentaries, sports, all these things, not in film and scripted TV. But I was getting a lot of work. I was turning down work in New York. It was great. I was working so much in New York, and I gotta admit, I was a little bit too confident, thinking that I would just literally move to LA and I was just gonna get work because like they say, if you can do it in New York, you can do it anywhere, right? If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. One of those. And so honestly, that's what I felt like. I guess I had just a feeling being in New York. I was like, yeah, I did it, right? I can go anywhere and find work. That was not the case. No, I found LA to be much more competitive than New York. And so what I should have done is, like I said right now, earlier, is to start networking. Even when you decided that, or you're thinking about moving to LA, I would have started like reaching out to people then. And maybe even at some point, maybe even take a flight out to LA to, and set up meetings and fly out to LA, get a feel for LA, like do a heavy prep work. But that's the main thing, is to start networking as soon as you even start thinking about making a move to LA, right? So that is my biggest piece of advice. And so now that's the thing. It's like another thing, and I certainly did this I did do, is save a lot of money. Save a lot of money. I mean, I'm going to say at the very least, 6 months worth of living expenses. Minimum, I would say. And I did do that. I saved money. So you need to have that cushion, that financial cushion. So things to think about. And again, start saving. Start saving. If you are even thinking about, just thinking about it. But those are like the biggest things I would do. Say if I was thinking about moving from New York to LA, I would, and I didn't do this, so I would not say wait till I have a job necessarily. I've now moved to two huge cities without work, and I've figured it out, right? I've moved to New York with no job, just packed my bags, went to Southeast Asia, and then went to New York, and I made it happen. Then I moved to LA with no job, right? So in that regard, I sometimes I think it's just at least the way I work is like, all right, I got to be there. It's maybe, different now because a lot of us are working remotely. So there are a lot of more opportunities. People are just more open to that. But I wouldn't let that hold me back, say, to have a job before I move. But again, it's just have that financial cushion and make sure you start reaching out to people, growing your network way before you actually make the move. Great questions. Let me see. I got one. I had a couple through email. Let's see. I want to make sure they answer the questions. All right. So, Jay, let's see. So here we go. As an editor / assistant editor for more than 20 years, 15 in India and 7 in the US, and aiming to get into scripted, do you recommend the Hollywood Editing Mentor program for me? Absolutely. Yes. I highly recommend it, whether it be through, say, private mentoring sessions or the new Break Into Scripted course that's coming out this summer. Yes. It's called Break Into Scripted, right? It's what it's set out to do, to help you get a job in film and scripted television. Honestly, not just in the US, it's wherever you are in the world. So yes, I highly recommend it. And that is what I specialize in here through this program, is helping people, achieve their goals, and specifically, say, in this case, with trying to get an opportunity, navigate that path to working in film and scripted television. So yes, Jay, I highly, highly recommend it. And then he has the next question, and this is kind of start talking about more about AI here. But will the Hollywood Editing Mentor program get updated, looping in the recent AI tools? Yes, and that I've been, thinking about that a lot recently, and how how to incorporate now these AI tools into this program. So yes, because in general, I think you have to get on board this AI thing. It's here to stay. It's adapt. You got to adapt and start learning it now. All the tools. I mean, just AI in general. Get comfortable with it because it is not going anywhere. So yes, moving forward, we'll incorporate that more into the Hollywood Editing Mentor program. Are you done with Griselda? Yes, Griselda is done. I don't know when it's going to come out. It's coming out this year. They announced it at the Netflix upfront. So, I would say now the fall. I think they mentioned that, so it's out there in that regard. But I don't know when. I'm waiting to get that release date. So, yeah, but definitely, I think from what Netflix said, it's coming out this fall. So they see, I had another question here from Jay. It says, how much recent development in AI, in the AI field, will change the post-production landscape? Well, I mean, for example, the other day, I watched that presentation. I don't know if you guys seen it, the Adobe Firefly. It's insane. It's nuts. I've seen it it's like you could basically say you're cutting a documentary, for example, or a reality show, anything, and you want B-roll, and you just type in say what B-roll you're looking for, and then it not only finds it but then cuts it in. So it's insane, amongst other things. And what it does with Photoshop, it does now set extensions pretty much. It's nuts. So yeah, you can't, negate the fact that this is going to impact post-production. I mean, this is my prediction, for example. This is my prediction. And might be crazy, but I could see a point where, say, you bring in this robot, and they do a rough pass on, say, an episode or project. A rough pass. Just assemble the thing. And then bring in an editor, for example, and then, fine-tune it. I could see that happening. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I could see that happening easily. It's going to impact it's going to impact, I think it's in general, going to reduce, say, the amount of people, say, maybe working on a project, right? Maybe not just completely eliminate everyone, but yeah, I that's what I believe. And again, I always try to be positive, and but I'm also realistic, and right, the tools are there. So there'll be a reduction in the workforce. I do think so, yeah. But you always have to have, I think, a human element to it, someone there driving things. But check out Adobe. Adobe it's nuts. I mean, that, even now, because and I don't use it because I just prefer to do it manually. But cleaning up audio, that whole podcast AI thing that Adobe has, it's insane. It's not perfect, but I mean, wow, that thing, how it cleans up audio is crazy, and how fast it does it versus again, how I do it manually, because I use all these isotope plugins. But this thing, you just put it in there, wait a couple minutes, and it's done. It's insane. It's crazy. So I'm not sure what Avid has been doing, but they need to, get on board this AI thing for sure. Who do you think is going to buy out Avid? My money's on Apple. Wow, I don't know that one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, why not? I could see that happening. Um, yeah, no, again, a lot of changes, right? A lot of change. I mean, this is the thing. There's a lot of changes. I just, again, and this is just what I've seen. It's just the advancements that Adobe has been doing or achieving. I mean, they're out there now. You can try, a beta version of like, Photoshop, which is like, it's nuts. It's like let's say, and they showed this, like, say, picture of this kid standing like in front of a train station, train tracks. And then they kind of they created this kind of section next to the picture, just blank. And then you type in, add a train or train tracks and mountains or whatever. And it just does it. I mean, nuts. And the same thing, say now with like VFX, doing like literally set extensions. So, and that's happening now. Again, no one knows what's going to happen, but I mean, it's there. It's only getting better. Also noticing a big trend to move to editing in DaVinci, not just grading. Do you think they're going to start being competitive as an NLE for that use? Is it worth focusing learning on it that way? I got this question the other day on another coaching call that I did about DaVinci. I mean, I think anything is fair game right now. As far as the thing is even like, say, for example, with Avid, and I'm going to talk about, say, union scripted, and film. With Avid, like, for example, like, that's why, productions wouldn't jump to newer versions, right? Everyone's kind of hesitant to try the new version because so many bugs. They want to work with what is stable. So, for example, a lot of us are on, Avid 2018, right? When you have now Avid 2022. So, it's tough to, for productions to, again, move on to, say, newer versions of Avid, let alone now a completely different platform, right? So, but, in the end, if it's, more efficient and if it's honestly, look, if it's saving, production's money, then unfortunately that's what's, it's a business, right? So then, you'll see kind of shifting now to moving to other, say, NLEs. I would think Adobe first of all, but DaVinci is a big player in this. Now, is it worth focusing learning on it that way? I think it's worth. I think as an editor or as working in post, it's important to at least have working knowledge of all these NLE programs. For example, when the pandemic hit, I sat down and like did a DaVinci course for a week because again, using that time to learn a new skill. Why not? I got to learn it. Of course, I didn't master it, but if I jump on DaVinci now and I think like last week I did some dailies on it. Oh, I can navigate through the program and pick it up pretty quickly. So I would say it's free. Download it, practice on it, do some tutorials. Absolutely, yes, because like I said, even though you're not going to be, say, maybe mastering DaVinci, but at least have the ability to jump on it and do some work on it. Yeah, no, totally. And that goes the same with Avid and Premiere. And I guess Final Cut. Try that one out. Sheila, I feel in a couple of years, instead of being called editors, we will be called something else, and our work would be just to type in what we want to do, so the AI does it for us. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be that's the thing. It's going to be about learning the tools, right? That's who I think will keep getting employed and survive this thing, to be honest. So start now. Start learning everything about, or as much as you can, about AI. Like I said, Adobe is, start there. Look it up. Adobe Firefly and Adobe Shasta. And also just, even like with, ChatGPT, just start getting familiar with it. It's here to stay. It's being used already. So definitely start learning it. But yeah, no, I do see that. I do see a world like in editing where they have the AI, the robot, doing a rough pass on something in assembly, and then someone comes in to clean it up. Totally see that happening. How many years? I'm going to say in 5 years, we're going to see really huge changes. I think in 2 years, we're going to start seeing significant changes. And I think by 5, it's like, all right, this is a whole new landscape. My prediction, again, no one knows. That's just me. Nicole says, totally agree with you. I hope, with Sheila, I hope that AI allows people to be able to be more creative by offering more technical support and be able to create more cool things together with those tools. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. It's just insane what can be done even right now. At this point. So yeah, but it's just, but then how does that affect other people? Like I said, it's like now you can do set extensions, like in Premiere, and like it's not, it's just crazy. You watch this presentation, you're like, what? Fascinating. Regardless of what how you feel about it, it's just fascinating times we're living in, no doubt about it. Do you think scripted shows will migrate toward Premiere, and as a scripted AE, knowing Premiere is vital? There's some scripted shows that use Premiere now. The David Fincher camp, they use Premiere, and there are others out there. I see it a lot more in the, like, say, indie film world. Now, I do see a point where, like, productions were still, I can see that. I can see where Adobe starts getting more of the market share down the road, especially if Avid does not adapt or incorporate these AI tools. Yes. But it's important to get comfortable with just other programs, NLEs, be able to navigate that stuff. If say you get a job or get a project, is to just be able to navigate it, get comfortable with it, and that goes with so many other tools, right? It's a lot. It's a lot, I know. But if you're not busy at the moment, again, if you're not busy, you're not working, and use this time to learn all that stuff. Use the time. The work will come back. So take advantage of the downtime if that's the case for you. Diliana, any tips from the documentary folks on getting into the documentary world? I've cut several shorts and would love some direction on expanding more on this path. Thank you all. Any documentary editors out there? What I would say is that to just simply start meeting those people, getting involved, with that community. But it starts there. It's like reaching out, say, to documentary editors or documentary assistants, anyone working in documentaries. Immerse yourself in that world. Even simply just start watching more documentaries, because that's only going to help you, speak the language of documentaries and be able to talk about documentaries with the people that are, working on them. And I think it's the same thing as, like, for example, say you're trying to break into scripted, in the sense of, like, maybe initially you might have to work on maybe lower budget stuff, right, to kind of get in. But maybe, you might have to work, I don't know, and work for free, right, on a project, or, that's a good way to get in, with people. But it's about, in general, kind of immersing yourself in that world, whether it be documentaries, commercials, scripted TV or film. I mean, those are all things that I've worked in. I've worked in commercials, talk shows, sports, news, documentary. I mean, I've done across the board. I mean, I got to say, I've done almost everything, I guess. So it's a lot, all that. I mean, me being able to kind of just go through, work on all these things that I mentioned, is that it has been a lot of, like, just networking, to be honest, right? And someone just giving you a shot and building a relationship with people. Obviously doing good work, right? And but it's really about, how you just kind of build those relationships, to be honest. I mean that's a huge part of it. See, I'm gonna go up here and see if any more questions that I missed. Is there any update on the directors and SAG-AFTRA also striking soon? I assume this possibly will delay productions further. Yeah, I haven't heard anything else, any updates. But if that happens, man, it'll be really interesting. But I think, I think their contract expires June 30th. So I can't believe we're in June now. So yeah, we're going to know soon. Just get a better understanding of what's going to happen. Like, as we start getting closer to the end of the month, we will know. But I forgot it's June 1st today. Jesus. So expect to hear more soon. I'm gonna wind this up in a bit. I'm gonna be back here at 6 p.m. Pacific. Feel free to join again, the second session. I love doing 2 sessions because you can see there's people all over the world, a bunch of different time zones. This is the most international crowd I think I've ever had here on these sessions. I've been doing just a side note, and I know a lot of you don't care, but I've been doing intermittent fasting for 16 hours a day, and I'm getting hungry. But it works. I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm becoming a big fan of fasting. Sheila has a question from a friend. Do you know of any agencies or agents that work with episodic animation? I do not know that, say, specifically, but, there's a lot of just agencies that work with, below the line crew. So in this case, editors. So I would assume, I'm going to assume that, yes, there's obviously agents that, have, say, animation editors as clients for sure. And look, how do you look up at those agents? Simple Google search. I'm going to because I get this question a lot. I've been meaning to do this, is to just write up a list of all, or just agencies that, say, represent editors. One other thing I will suggest is, if you do, for example, have a IMDb Pro account, first of all, you should get one. I highly recommend it. But if you, for example, like look up, say, some animation editors and see if who represents them, if they have an agent. That's a good way to find out. Hey guys, don't forget, if you're not on the wait list, if you're interested in the Breaking the Scripted course, head on over there and get on the wait list. It's going to be, I'm so excited about this course. I mean, like, again, there's just nothing out there like it. It's going to be so awesome. And then, you know, aside from the course, you'll have access to a private community of like-minded people who are trying to do the same thing. And they're going to be there for support, answer any questions, and provide, you know, job leads. And it's just, I mean, it's going to be great. So sign up for the waitlist today. HollywoodEditingMentor.com/waitlist. Sheila, we should go on a hike someday. Yes, absolutely. I definitely hike. I love hiking. I've been thinking about, so I signed up for, yesterday I signed up for the Ventura Marathon next year, happening in February next year. So doing a lot of running, but also was thinking, like, because I love running, but also was thinking, like, is anyone into running and like would want to do like have a running club, Hollywood Editing Mentor running club, and like maybe go out for, like, maybe say a 3-mile run, maybe get some food afterwards, coffee, things like that. I've been thinking about it for a while now, but I'm down for that. Hiking, running, do some physical activity. I'm totally up for that. So hit me up, maybe set something up, and we'll get that going. Especially here as the summer rolls around. All right, I think we're going to call it a day. At least for now, because we're going to come back at 6 p.m. Pacific if you want to jump in. David Baker, got to run, but thanks for setting this up, Joaquin. Great talking to everyone. Hey, thank you, David. Have an excellent, excellent day. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for showing up. I mean, this was awesome. Always love hanging out with you guys, answering questions. Hope you guys stay in touch outside of this session. It's so important that you do so. Like I said, to keep growing your network. And again, just stay active during this downtime if that's the case for you. So Raz, thank you for. I mean, wow, so awesome. Thanks for jumping in here, all the way from Pakistan. I mean, that's great. Masami. Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you, Masami. Hope I said that correctly. Apologize if I butcher anyone's name. Jeremy, hey, dude, take care, man. So glad you stopped by. Dylan says thank you. All right, thank you, Dylan. Thank you for your time. Getting your perspective, Shane. All right. Liliana, thank you. Have fun on your vacation. Send post more pictures. Perry Payne, thanks. Thank you, Perry. Oh yeah, no. Happy you're here. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. Hit that like button as well. Again, want to try to grow this, and certainly could help, use your support. So, just this Hollywood Editing Mentor YouTube channel reaches more people around the world. As you can see here, you got people from all over. This is great. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. My name is Joaquin Elizondo, the creator of the Hollywood Editing Mentor program and podcast. Thanks for being here. I hope to see you on the next session for today at 6 p.m. Pacific. All right? Take care, everyone. See ya.